This week on Hoopify, we investigate why Jimmy Butler is the perfect fit for the Philadelphia 76ers. Roll the tape.
Jimmy starts to drive, step back in the air.
Oh, happy step back and kiss myself. Big time plays make big time plays. Woo!
Butler.
Just play every position. Every possession like it's your last. We don't play hard all the time, man. It's very disappointing whenever we don't play hard.
Wade said that guys just don't. Some of the young guys aren't carrying enough. Is that what you believe as well?
Yeah. If you don't come in this motherfucker pissed off after you lose any game, if you're not pissed off that you lost, man, something's wrong. This is your job. This is what you're supposed to love to do. And I don't think that everybody looks at it that way. Man, I want to play with guys that care, man, that play hard, that want to do well for this organization, that want to win games, man. Do whatever it takes, just win. Who cares who's shining?
These two short clips showcase the highs and lows of Jimmy Butler's final season with the Chicago Bulls. A season full of personal highs on the court for him, but collective lows off it for his team. The final clip of his post-match interview also echo into the insight or the mentality behind the mind of Jimmy Butler. He talks about winning at all costs being paramount. He also talks about how hard he's worked to becoming the best player on his team. The concept of grinding and fighting against obstacles and pushing through is a major key to understanding the story of Jimmy Butler and his mindset, as in reality, his whole life has been a grind. If you take it back further, Butler grew up in the small town of Trumbull, Texas. His dad left him when he was an infant, and his mom kicked him out of the house at the age of 13 after she said she was sick of him. During his teenage years, he bounced from house to house. Basketball-wise, he got minimal interest and ended up playing at a junior college in Texas. He grinded and pushed in those 2 years he was there and eventually earned an athletic scholarship at Marquette University. He was only rated a 2-star recruit. However, this did not deter him, and 2 years later, he became a key member of the Marquette team and declared for the NBA draft. The setup, or the step up to the pro ranks, was no easier with him seemingly coming out of nowhere to become a star player of the Chicago Bulls. These trying times have taken a toll on Butler, but have also turned him into the super and uber competitive man you see today. Butler holds this mentality of grinding for what you want and winning at all costs highly. He expects this for himself, but he also expects those around him and on his team to share that same mindset. If they don't, well, let's just say there are problems.
Big one already, Reese, and Jimmy Butler has been reunited with his former coach Tom Thibodeau in Minnesota. In the deal, Zach LaVine, Chris Dunn, and the number 7 pick go to Chicago.
Butler is traded to the Timberwolves in a deal that sees him reunited with coach Tom Thibodeau. On a deeper level, Thibodeau is coming off a losing season with the Wolves, despite having two of the most promising rising stars in the league, in Andrew Wiggins and Karl Anthony Towns. However, despite this talent, the Wolves needed an edge. They needed some grit and mongrel, and Thibodeau hoped acquiring Butler would help instill that in Wiggins and Towns. The season starts and Butler quickly establishes himself as the team's alpha dog. It is a tale of 2 seasons, as the Wolves are dominant with Butler in the lineup and pour with him out of it. A first-round exit at the hands of the Rockets ends the season on a sour note, with Cat and Wiggins coming up short and playing poorly throughout the series.
Karl Anthony Towns is playing soft.
Okay.
He's being beat up by Clint Capella. He's taking him out of his game. I don't know if he's in his head, but right now he is playing soft basketball. For him to have 5 points in the first quarter and don't score anymore, you are the best player on this team. You have to demand the ball. I don't care if you shoot the ball 20, 25 times. Your team won't be competitive if you play like this. Y'all going to get swept out of Minnesota.
ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski is reporting that Butler's preferred trade destinations are the Nets, the Clippers, and the Knicks. Back here with Adrian Wojnarowski here on SportsCenter. We'll get to the teams Butler prefers, but first, Woj, why does he want to leave Minnesota?
Well, beyond the toxic relationship that he's had that's devolved with Karl Anthony Towns, that's a part of it. There's an overall sense of dysfunction around this organization.
Butler wants out of Minnesota. He asked for a trade in September shortly before training camp. Pettiness ensues online as Andrew Wiggins' brother reshares an article about Butler wanting out and tweets hallelujah. Things are now red hot, and when no trade is made, Butler reports to the first day of training camp where he tells it like it is and unabashedly, honestly tells everyone why he wants out and the problems that he has with the team. This interview he does with Rachel Nichols encapsulates perfectly the frustration that Jimmy Butler has and why he wanted out of Minnesota.
I was honest. Was I brutally honest? Yes. But I think that that's the problem. Everybody's so scared to be honest with one another. If you didn't like the way that I handled myself in practice, one of the players come up to me. Somebody say something. Anybody. I'm not going to take it offense. It's not personal. Jimmy, you shouldn't have done that. Yeah, you probably right. I would have said, I ain't hooped in I don't know how long. I mean, I'm passionate about it. I love the game, and I love to win. And that's all I was out there doing was competing. You got to be honest. I'm being honest. Do I think so? No, I'm being honest with you. But is everybody going to be honest? No. No, everybody's not going to be honest. Like if you go and say, which one of y'all told what Jimmy said today in practice? Everybody, no, I don't know. You ain't be honest. I don't care. There ain't nothing we can do about it now, but be honest. That's it. I just want everybody to be happy. I want to win. I'm sorry if I go about it the wrong way. I really do apologize.
I went to Chicago and talked to Jimmy Butler when he was a member of the Chicago Bulls. And you had cats in there. He was questioning the coach. He was questioning some of the players. He was questioning hearts. He's the kind of guy where if you show him an inkling of not caring enough, it is offensive to him, and he is going to take it out on you and bring attention to you.
So why give this whole backstory? Well, in my opinion, in order to accurately assess the future, you must understand the past. We need to understand the psyche of Jimmy Butler. The deeper I dig, the more it becomes clear that this guy has an alpha male mentality. Some call him a locker room cancer, but I think that he is the kind of guy that isn't in the league to make friends. As he says so many times, he is here to win. He'd rather win and not get along with his teammates than lose and have everyone like him. This strong persona will always rub certain people the wrong way. Which brings us to November, and the reports that the 76ers have acquired Jimmy Butler in a trade in return for Saric, Covington, Bayless, and some future first-round picks. Many do not know how to interpret who won this trade. My rule of thumb is always the same. The team that gets the best player wins the trade. Period. Look at Kyrie's trade to Boston, the Kawhi trade to Toronto, or even as far back as the Wolves trade for Garnett to the Celtics or Shaq to the Heat. This rule definitely applies this time around as well, as Philly will have a third All-Star and be the only team after Golden State to have a third top 20 player on their roster. If you look at the history of the NBA, to have any chance of winning, you need star players. In my opinion, while the Wolves have picked up some nice pieces, it does not move the needle for them, and they'll battle for a playoff spot and likely lose in the first round. My other prediction is that Tom Thibodeau will be out by the end of the season. The real question on everyone's lips is, what does this mean for the Sixers? Are they now legit contenders, or will this fail? Remember, the Sixers only have 1 year with Butler before he's a free agent, and they are effectively trading their future and the process for his services. In my opinion, the biggest factor in how well this will go depends on how Butler coexists with Embiid and Simmons, because in many ways this move feels eerily similar to him joining forces with Cat and Wiggins. Both of these prospects are young and unproven in the playoffs, but both are more talented than Butler. Simmons' demeanor is quiet and laid back, similar to Cat and Wiggins. However, Embiid, as we all know, is much more outspoken. Butler has stated that his problem in the past with Wiggins and Cat was their passivity. He would have loved it if they called him out or barked back. Ultimately, they did not. And when he talks about honesty, this is what he means. He needs to play with people that are authentic, and he also needs to play with people that put winning above all else. In a weird way, I believe that this trade will be the best thing that happens to the 76ers, regardless of whether it goes well or not, because it will be a litmus test to see where they're really at it as a franchise. It will reveal to us all whether Simmons and Embiid have what it takes to ascend to the next level, to become true contenders. Do they have that grit, that alpha male presence, and that winning mentality that Butler oozes? Don't get me wrong, Simmons and Embiid are vastly more talented than Butler. However, that killer instinct is what makes star players superstar players. So that is why, by the end of the season, we will know who Embiid and Simmons really are. Butler, I can guarantee you, will push them, will berate them, and will keep them accountable. He will talk shit to them and expect them to give it back. Ultimately, he'll push them as far as he can to see if they want to win as bad as he does. For good or for worse, the reason he's the perfect player is that he's going to push Embiid and Simmons and reveal to us what they're really made out of. And I believe that the Philadelphia front office are probably very curious about this. How good are Simmons or Embiid? Do they have what it takes to win? Butler will push them, and Butler will reveal how good they truly are. And this is why, for good or for worse, Jimmy Butler is the perfect player for the Philadelphia 76ers to have acquired.
Jimmy Butler, a member of the Philadelphia 76ers. A dog is in the house. A dog is in the house. Joel, Ben Simmons, y'all don't play. You think he called out Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins. Wait till what he does with y'all. If you don't show up, you gotta show up. Oh, I'll see y'all in Philly very, very soon. I'm out.